I'm Jared. Welcome to Eating Enlightenment, and thank you for taking the quiz. I want to address the issue of post binge eating quiz binge. You take the binge eating quiz, whether you're just surfing the internet, you're bored, do I have an eating problem? Is this binging? Your whatever state of mind you were in when you started taking the binge eating quiz. It's possible that whatever quiz result you got somehow triggers you. Somehow an inner critical voice comes up, or disapproval, or that F it attitude, oh who cares, or this pessimistic attitude, you know what, you're never gonna stop binging anyway, so why care? And so I understand that this stuff brings up stuff, that even talking about getting better, that even talking about freedom, that talking about a diagnosis or just anything can bring up so much. And so when all these feelings start to come up, confusion, overwhelm, it's possible that a binge comes up as well. And so if you are having food cravings after the binge eating quiz, if food is starting to be on your mind, if your thoughts are sort of swirling, or you're just in a mood after the quiz, I want you to just watch the next few minutes of this video. I'll be showing you just a little example about how we do things differently at Eating Enlightenment. So my name's Jared. The reason I do things differently is because I got exposed to these different ways of thinking. I was probably your normal guy, more or less, who's struggling with overeating. I was a wrestler in high school, grew up in the Sacramento area, and had a background where my family was very logical, concerned about very good grades, but nothing about feelings, absolutely nothing. And so wrestling, I tried to fit in, tried to lose weight, really wanted to belong, really just wanted to fit in. And weight, my body image, how I performed was a huge part of my self-esteem. So just got into this horrible cycle where I'd cut, count, run, try to be perfect eating, and then binge after the tournament. And then just this horrible cycle of cutting and binging and cutting weight and binging, and got really, trapped in this mentality for a long time. And then, long story short, I became a Zen monk, 13 months. And that sort of sparked this new way of seeing things, where I really saw the mind differently than what I saw before. And that's been maybe 10, 12 years ago. And now here we are today. And I want to share with you some of the insights that I've learned through my time as a monastery, becoming a counselor, working with eating disorders for a long time. And quite frankly, working with hundreds of strategy calls, thousands of people have taken the quiz. And there's one thing that I really find important, especially if there's food cravings after you're having the quiz, and that's this idea that we can have different parts of our mind, and we can talk to these different parts. And that's what I want to do with you right now in these next few minutes. So let's just say you just took the quiz, and I want you just to pause right here with me, just to put your feet on the ground, a little bit of space between your thoughts, and I want you to listen with me. I want you to listen to what one of those voices is saying, because you got some voices in your head, right? Thoughts, swirling, you could call them, whatever, states of mind. You got different things going on in your mind. And I just want you to listen to one. And one is probably some sort of inner critical voice, some sort of disapproving voice, or some sort of guilt. That might be saying something like, you're not going to change anyways, so why get your hopes up? Why don't you just binge instead? That can be one sort of disapproving voice. Maybe there's this guilty kind of thing too. You're bad. What are you doing thinking that you can change? You're bad. It's your fault. You can't do this. Don't even try. It can be sort of another one. Maybe there can be this really strong urge to eat, where you've taken the quiz, you've seen your result, and it's a little unpleasant. It's a little stinging seeing that binge eating disorder or binging result. And there's sort of this offensive quality. And this other part of your mind might want to go, this other voice might want to go, screw that. Screw that. Who cares about that quiz? Who cares? Go eat right now. Go eat right now. And so if these voices are coming up, I just want you to identify them. And the key thing we're doing right now is really just trying to hear and understand one of these voices. And I want you right away to start talking to one of these voices. And we're just getting started with this idea that you have multiple voices in your head, multiple thoughts, multiple parts in your head, and that you can talk to them like they're living people. And that every part, here's the key thing, and we'll talk about this in a future video, but that every part is trying to protect you somehow. And your job is to be curious and not judgmental and to figure out why. So for that voice that we just paused and listened to, if it's saying, you're bad, you're not going to do this, I just want you to start asking this voice, okay, I hear that you're trying to protect me somehow. I'm not quite sure. Can you help me understand? I just want you to listen to that voice and see what it says. Well, how is this voice trying to protect you? It's trying to protect you. Maybe if it's telling you that you're bad or you shouldn't try, it doesn't want you to get your hopes up. Maybe you've tried dieting and all these things and tried to get over binging in the past and it's failed, so this voice is trying to protect you. Don't try because you're going to get your hopes up and then you're going to be disappointed. Maybe that voice that says, oh, screw it, just screw it. Who cares about that quiz result? Just, go eat food now, go eat. Let's ask that voice, how are you trying to protect right now? Sounds like you're trying to protect from overwhelm. It sounds like something about that quiz result was a little bit triggering or a little bit overwhelming. And you're trying to distract or to just kind of block out that upset feelings, that little bit of shame that maybe got triggered with the quiz result. You're trying to block that out. You're trying to make me focus on food instead of that, right? That's how you're trying to protect me. Is that it? And listen. Listen if the voice kind of nods its head. Listen if it responds. So this is sort of an introduction to Eating Enlightenment, who I am, and also how we can start to handle binges in a different way than you've probably tried before. Voices and pausing and listening, and we'll be going over some tools on how you can stop binging. If you want to learn more about these parts, especially how shame creeps into the mix, there's a video down below which kind of outlines a lot more about these parts in more depth. And check that out down below. And then we're going to end this video. Just want to welcome you to Eating Enlightenment. I'll be sending some more emails about different types of binges, how we can start handling them, giving some tools to help you identify these voices and patterns. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. Okay. All right. Welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you somehow made it. The internet's a big place and you made it here. And I'm glad to have you here. And we'll call it a day. Namaste.